there any items to be added or deleted?
No items, sir.
Okay, does anybody have a conflict of interest? If not, we'll deal with them as they arise. Informational items, we start with Chief Executive Officer's report, Mike Burrows.
So I'm going to hand over to Ms. Pritchett. Since we posted the agenda, we've got a staffing update, and she's going to fill you in on our latest.
Thank you, Mike. We received news from our project manager, Kevin Vahar, last week that he will be leaving employment with the Airport Authority to actually join up with AEC Moreno, who's one of our valued contractors on site at the airport. So while Kevin won't be on our payroll, he will still be working on our projects. He's been what's your name? Jeff's right hand over the past year and a half or so, working on a lot of capital projects around the airport. So Kevin, I know you're not here, but I know you are watching. Thank you for your time, and you will certainly be missed, but we will see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Kat. So now I'm going to hand off to Mr. Gibbs to talk about our cruising at altitude event, not flying at altitude. That was my fault. Mark.
Thank you, Mike. Last month we celebrated an important milestone for the airport, and that is 1 year of commercial air service at San Bernardino with our valued airline, Breeze Airways. And by doing it, we decided to have a fun time and throw a big party, free community concert. And we opened the doors to 4,500 people. And the main headlining band, if you could go to the next slide, please. The main headlining band was a group called the Walters. They've got over 1 billion streams on Spotify, and the opening band has about 50 million streams on Spotify. But it was a great evening. Temperature cooperated. It was filled with food trucks and lots of fun. And for those members that were able to make it out, it was great to see you out there. We appreciated you coming. And it was a good time had by all. It was also a great opportunity for us to further the airport. People got to park and in our parking lot, walk through our terminal, and experience what SBD is all about. So it was a great family event for all those involved.
All right, and now Mr. Cousineau, you've got a few updates. Mark.
Thank you. We have an update on our annual financial and single audits. We are on track. This is the second year for our audit firm, Eide Bailly, which is a national firm and who has a more sophisticated centralized quality review process than our previous auditors. Interim field work has been completed. We expect to get the trial balance to our auditors this week. And then staff will be focusing and updating our leases and our software for a new GASB statement requirement. And then we're looking at having the auditors in the field the week of beginning November 6th. And at the same time before that, we will be submitting a request to the FAA to get an extension to file our Form 5100, 126, and 127 reports, which are government payment reports and financial summary. The FAA prefers audited information, so we're looking at that as pretty much a pro forma approval. Both those reports became mandatory when we hit 2,500 employments in a calendar year. And so that went into effect for last fiscal year, or last calendar year. And that concludes my report on that. And then we have a report on our accounting information selection and implementation. We have selected a new software. It is Sage Intacct. It is the third largest provider of ERPs in the world, behind Oracle and SAP. They focus on small and medium-sized businesses. Sage Intacct is operating in at least one or two airports. We talked to two of them that are operating it and very happy with it. We've been taking this process over about the last 2 years. We examined several other government-only government-designed softwares, and ultimately staff selected Sage Intacct. It has more appropriate workflows. It's serviced as a software. We don't have to host it on site, so we're relieving ourselves of the burden of updating hardware and software periodically. We have 2 internet connections, which will give us that level of security we need to be able to get to it. The costs will be shared between IVDA and SBIAA proportionately based on the number of financial transactions that each agency enters into, primarily purchase orders and disbursements. We're looking at a combined cost for both agencies of $58,000 per year for years 1 through 3. Years 4 and 5, that will be a not to exceed of $66,000. We are also expecting savings of $15,000 a year from doing away with our existing accounting information system and the software that we use to process POs. There's a lot of automated workflows. We expect to sit there and over time hire less people to be able to process our transactions and actually, hopefully in the long run, reduce our costs. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions on that if there are any. Not hearing it, that concludes my report.
And that concludes our reports, Mr. Chair.
Okay, the next item is the consent. Is there a motion for the consent items?
I'll move it.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Lilburn and a second by Mayor Tran.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Lilburn and a second by Member Tran. Please state your votes for the record. Member Echevarria?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez?
Yes.
Thank you. Those items pass unanimously.
Okay, to our action items number 10, Mark Cousineau, consider and adopt the budget adjustments.
Thank you. This budget adjustment is going to result in expenses in excess of revenues in the amount of $157,300. The requested adjustments are comprised of an increase in estimated revenues of $91,700 from new leases signed with existing tenants. And then we're also looking at increases in expenses of $18,000 in general fund account 50345, workers' compensation insurance. This is a true-up or our annual audit, and that's where our payroll for last fiscal year exceeded what we proposed as far as our premium goes. An additional $12,000 increase in account 52589 for furniture and fixtures. That is to acquire ergonomic workstations to mitigate and prevent workplace injuries, ergonomic injuries. And the final one is $219,000 increase in general fund account 50015, airport law enforcement. That consists of largely 3 separate components. One are invoices from fiscal year 2020 and 2021, as well as some invoices from the tail end of fiscal year 22-23. The remainder of the adjustment is a $90,000 omission that we made during developing the budget, in which we did not we had rolled up 2 accounts in the prior fiscal year, and we did not grab that account for the new budget. And then there's an additional $20,000 or so for increased costs that come from collective bargaining agreements at the City of San Bernardino PD Department. Be happy to answer any questions.
Do we know why they're not invoicing us?
Pass that over to Kat.
No?
And this is the city of San Bernardino?
Correct. We worked regularly with our point of contact over at the PD Finance Department. She was in the process of retiring. I think that she was extremely backlogged. We have since caught up. We are in contact with the person who has taken her position, and we're working on making sure that all of our invoices are received on a timely basis moving forward.
Okay, thanks.
So, can I ask a question? So these are some of the past invoices from the prior fiscal. So I noticed in our budget and finance meeting that we weren't caught up with the invoicing as well for the police services, correct?
They bill in quarters, so we have not yet received the first 3 months, so the first quarter of the fiscal year. We haven't received those invoices and processed them yet.
Okay.
But we have requested them, so they should be here soon.
And just for the record, and I know I had asked staff this, but just for the record, the collective bargaining agreements would have been a pass-through payment and charge to us anyway because of our contract with them?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Hearing no other questions, is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Okay, there's a motion by Mayor Tran. Second. And a second by Councilmember Sanchez.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Tran and a second by Member Sanchez. Please state your votes for the record. Member Chavadia?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez. Thank you. That item passed unanimously.
Okay, next up is item 11, approve the award of a construction contract with AC Moreno and Jeff Barrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Approve the award of the construction contract with AEC Moreno Corporation for the terminal parking lot improvement project in an amount not to exceed $118,169 and authorize the chief executive officer to execute all related documents. $70,000 increase to the capital project outlays in the event the proposed budget adjustment is approved in today's agenda. Funding for this project will be included in the new San Bernardino International Airport fiscal year 23-24 budget, capital project funds, account 51807, land parking and road improvements, in the amount of $120,000. Staff recommends that the commission approves the above recommended actions, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Motion for approval?
Okay, there's a motion by Mayor Tran.
I'll second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Lilburn. Roll call.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Tran and a second by Member Lilburn. Please state your votes for the record. Member Chavadia?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez.
Yes.
Thank you. Item passes unanimously.
Okay, item 12, a multi-year cooperative agreement with Cintas. Mark Gibbs.
Thank you, Councilman. We're looking for approval for maintenance uniforms over essentially a 3-year contract with 2 one-year extension options. And the cost over that full 5-year period is $145,000. It also includes additional linen services, floor mats, shop towels, that kind of stuff. Comes out roughly to approximately $29,000 a year over a 5-year period if we exercise those 2 options. And we're seeking your approval for that contract with Cintas.
Move to approve.
Second?
Is motion by Councilmember Sanchez, second by Supervisor Rao, and let's have a roll call.
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Sanchez and a second by Member Rao. Please state your votes for the record. Member Chavadia?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes unanimously.
Lucky item 13, consider and discuss the SBD Good Neighbor Program, 3rd quarter.
Thank you. As the airport continues to grow and evolve across all of our different business lines, there's inevitable impacts to the community. And some of those are, we've got we've got a program called the Good Neighbor Program to track and provide resources that Rosemary is here to tell you a little bit about and walk you through this report.
Thank you, Mark. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
I just have to point out, I'm so used to seeing Mayor Navarro. I miss him. He's not missed a meeting since I've been here the last couple of years, so please send my wishes to him. Nice to see you all, Commissioners. Mike and Mark, thanks for having me back to report on the 3rd quarter Good Neighbor Program report. Let's see, we are going to page 4, please, Jennifer. So we just wanted to point out our developments in our outreach and engagement with the community. We published the summer edition of the Good Neighbor News, our newsletter, sharing individual articles and promoting subscriptions, continue to grow those. And through social media and other outreach to neighbors, we focused on spotlighting the SBD team's public engagement in the community, both off the airport and on the airport with the wonderful concert. And a shout out to our public service agencies. Of course, the tanker base was activated in at least July and beyond, so that was important to share that with the community. And we promoted the airport's 5 lines of business. We wanted to continue to inform our community of what those business lines are, who are the representatives of those businesses, and how they continue to develop in support of the community. Okay, let's get into the data. Page 9. In July, we had 35 comments from 11 households. Page 12. In August, we have 41 comments from 11 households. Page 15. We had, in September, 38 comments from 17 households. I just wanted to show you that month-by-month snapshot. And now we'll go into the totals and trends on page 17. Year over year, there was an increase in both the number of comments received as well as the number of households filing comments. And this can be attributed to ongoing aircraft operations, continued communications and outreach about aircraft activities, as well as seasonality, right? We were in the summer months. People are out and about more, windows and doors are open more. There may be more recognition of aircraft activity as a result of being people out and about more. Page 18. For the third quarter, we had a total of 114 noise comments received from 30 distinct households, and 75% of those comments were received from 11 households in Highland. Page 19. For the top commenters for the quarter, 66% of the commenters hailed from households in Highland. Page 20. Here you see the year-over-year data for the third quarter. Comments more than doubled, and we had 7 additional households filing comments compared to the previous year. Page 22. And here's the comment breakout by, first of all, aircraft category. Note we had 1 comment for drone activity, and I just want to point out a little typo there. For the record, that should say UAS rather than USA, and we will get that corrected in the report that's posted to the website. It's technically correct, just not in the right context. We also have it showed by type of concern and then the filing method. And of course, the comments type of aircraft is typically jet activity is what we receive from our commenters, and flying over home and the perception of low flying. Those are the most prevalent concerns that we hear. And 90% of the comments received were shared online by neighbors. Page 23. Here's that same information. We're just sharing it in table format. And also the feedback we received from our neighbors, whether or not they wanted a response. 1/3 told us yes, they'd love to hear back from the airport about their comment. Page 25. Here's the heat map for the quarter. And it shows that the majority of comments came from neighbors within 5 to 10 miles of the airport. And then page 26 to wrap this up. In summary, both quarter over quarter and year over year, we had an increase in the number of noise comments, as well as the number of households filing comments. As I said before, the year over year increase can be attributed to continued jet aircraft operations, and then our ongoing engagement about the Good Neighbor program. And again, seasonality, summer months, people are out and about more. And yes, there were more aircraft operations. As I said, the tanker base was activated in at least July and beyond. So this completes my report. If you have any questions, hopefully we can answer those for you between Mark and myself.
I guess I do have some comments since most of them were from Highland.
Right.
Just to follow up, when they call, you obviously, do you know who the callers are?
Well, our airport staff do take those phone calls, and they're able to connect who the caller is to to the location where they reside, assuming they give all that information
Okay.
in the report.
And are we finding most of them repeat people with comments and concerns?
Yeah, we've got our more common commenters. So, for example, if you take the community of Highland, the top 3 commenters account for 71% of
Okay.
the noise comments from Highland.
Okay, and I guess I'm asking this because I do know who one of, maybe a couple of the commenters are from past meetings here. But when they call to comment, I see 66%, they don't want a response. Would that be part of those commenters? They just want to call and...
That's correct. Yeah, they have the option, and a lot of our comments are left through an online form. So they have an election. They can either call and leave a message, or they can fill out an online form. The majority are through the online form, and there's an election on there if they want to have a callback, or if they just want to be documented and included in the data that we collect on it. If they want their voice heard that way, we can collect it either way. But some people do not want to be called back, and we take that into consideration. But we always call back within a day or two.
They just want to complain that they live close to an airport and an airplane's flying over their house?
That does happen.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for that. And item number 14 is a review status of the action plan for the airport. Mike Brook.
Okay, so I'll make this pretty quick. You heard the abundance of our updates on accounting software and everything in between, so thank you, Mark. That's a long journey, and we're going to be turning the road here shortly. On international trade initiatives, this fall, we did help coordinate with our U.S. Department of Commerce friends a private function that they held down in the low desert, which was a UK-US initiative to link tribal governments with potential UK trading partners. And SBD's role was nominal, but Fred Lataprisa, our international trade advisor, was instrumental in making sure that did occur and did happen. So moving into November, we will be also looking at anything that Mr. Cousineau has identified in the budget to actual review. Thank you to our Finance and Budget Committee for going through that. And if we identify other updates, those will be at your very next meeting. And with that, that concludes our report, and happy Halloween next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any added or deferred items? Any open session public comment?
No comments.
No takers in the audience? Any comments by the members of commission?
I was at the concert, and I just wanted to say congratulations. It was a great event. It was well organized. Everyone loved it, and you guys did an amazing job. So thank you for all that. I had a blast. It was just a great concert. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. My family had a lot of fun, so thank you.
I have a comment for, it was actually for the Good Neighbor program. I just wanted to give kudos. On your page 4, where it says the spotlighted the ongoing outreach and public engagement, I want to thank you for loaning us Amber Casares for one of our events for the police department. She had a vendor booth. She did really good. She gave out a bunch of swag to the kids and gave some educational information. And same with National Night Out and other events. So I'm glad you guys are out there partnering with the local law enforcement and giving back to the community. Thank you.
Other comments? Then we are adjourned. Thank you for coming. Come next month.